OK, gentlemen, you've had your instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect of you both. Follow my instructions. When I tell you to break, take a step back, wash those heads in close. Touch gloves, good luck to you both. It's Chris.
So just over 4 months on from that emphatic overwhelming of Wayne Bloy, Chris Edwards and those home fans are back. First defence of the British and Commonwealth 8-stone belts against the decent, unheralded and inexperienced Usman Ahmed, who has the skills but gives away a great deal of other attributes here. How do you see Ahmed's chances, Jim?
I think the big problem, OK, he's inexperienced, which for sure, but it's his lack of power is going to be the big problem. When you're in with an all-action fighter like Edwards, who never stops coming forward, you have to have the power to at least discourage him. And I don't know if Ahmed has that, and I think that's going to be his big problem. He'll have successes in the early rounds, possibly, but I don't know if he knows what he's in for here.
Aggressive start, as always, from Chris Edwards. These two have met before. Edwards won, but the Ahmed camp say that there was a flash knockdown that wasn't scored in their man's favour. But he looks seasoned now, Edwards, and he's on a roll.
See, Ahmed is missing with punches. He's throwing punches before Edwards is close to him, and that's a sign of nerves. He does have a nervous look about him. I think that's how he lives his life. I think he's high octane. Everything he does is like that. Probably lives and works on his nerves. But he's out of range here in the early stages. That was better.
59-56, their first fight 3 years ago here in Stoke. Ahmed's back at the only defeat on his 7-fight record, but can he deal with this steam-rolling machine that's Edwards?
See, it's just that the fact that Edwards is so incessant. He's going to do this all the way through. He's good over the 12 rounds. He's in great shape. He's strong, he's rugged. And I think Ahmed would probably have expected to be a little bit smoother in the opening round. He hasn't found any smoothness as yet.
Ahmed is pencil thin. He's really skinny and probably the lightest fighter in Britain.
Break! Break! Don't grab the head, son.
He's had good sparring, he was telling me, Ahmed. Over 10 and 12 rounds. Good left hand. But has he got the power to discourage Edwards, to get him thinking?
See, Edwards getting close far too early. You would have to expect maybe Edwards taking 3 or 4 rounds to get this close. But he's charging right up to Ahmed. He's showing plenty of grit to Ahmed when Edwards gets there. Good stuff, coming up with nice little bursts of punches.
Ahmed was telling us it's all about his foot movement, mobility, and that he'll box rings around Edwards, but very different when you're actually in there. Good burst there. Close-ish opening round.
Yeah, well, he's shown grit a couple of times.
A big thank you to all our commercial vehicle drivers. The world wouldn't work without you.
Big deep breaths then. Yeah, and again.
Same again, Chris. Same again.
Lyndon Newbon from the Impact stable that is revitalised boxing here in Stoke. They're a close team.
Well, Edwards was getting close, but didn't find the accuracy. But, I mean, he's looking so much stronger than Ahmed.
And charges in to Usman Ahmed. Chris Edwards does at the beginning of the second, roared on by the fans here. It's a wonderful atmosphere again at Fenton Manor. Chris Edwards has captured the imagination. Can he successfully defend these belts? Too much, too strong for Ahmed? Possibly.
I just think Ahmed may be in for a little bit of a shock when he finds out what championship boxing is like. I mean, a good left hook from Edwards.
And a right hand to the head. He can't stand there and trade Ahmed. That was low, and he winces, and this could get grueling quickly.
I think he's finding already that he can't cope with the strength and the charges. Has come back with a low punch of his own there. And he's burning up so much energy, throwing punches and missing as he's trying to time Edwards coming forward. This is going to be a hard night's work, it appears, for young Ahmed.
Pressure and hooks from Edwards, trying to put him in the corners. Good left hand. Ahmed hits his hands together and says, come on. But he can't be taking shots like that this early.
And this is certainly not the plan his corner have sent him into this one with. We expect that he's trying to be mobile now, which is a little bit more sensible. But credit to him, he's showing a little bit of grit when the time comes. Edwards blocking those.
He's normally shown a good chin, Ahmed, and resilience, but Edwards beginning to get into his flow. And also will rough up Ahmed when he can too. The 33-year-old who's a hardened pro, and Ahmed isn't.
Yeah, you need the power or the strength to stop the charge, and I don't think Ahmed has that, and that for me is the big problem.
Yeah, that's what Wayne Bloy found as well. Andy Bell managed to floor Edwards, but he had that bit of dig. And Ahmed's never stopped anyone, and he's drawn with Delroy Spencer. He has got the fast hands, but he's got to get moving, Jim.
Yeah, well, he's trying. I mean, this is the right idea here. Look at some punches off and then get himself out of there. But he's struggling with every attack that Edwards mounts. Ahmed's struggling with it. A little bit crude from Edwards, but he's making his point, making Ahmed work, and he'll be happy with that. He has much more confidence, having done the 12 rounds a couple of times.
He normally is crude and agricultural, but how effective at this level.
The stage is set at the Reebok Stadium for the FA Cup of Darts.
You are gonna be entertained!
Where the minnows go up against the big boys.
The power. Oh! What a shot!
In knockout competition.
It is beautiful to watch. Game on at the Reebok.
The UK Open starts Thursday, 7 p.m. Sky Sports 1 and HD1.
Concentrate. Hands up, kick. You know he's going to, as soon as bell goes, he'll come out and rush it. Make sure you move.
The father and son team of Jason and Mike Shinfield, and they're in some form with Oval McKenzie, upsetting the odds at Prize Fighter the other week. Can Ahmed here?
Well, good clean shot, bang on the chin. Ahmed took it well, so not worried about Edwards' power as his work rate and his strength.
29th outing of Chris Edwards' career, which began in 1998. He's lost 13 and only won 12. It's a remarkable story as Usman Ahmed just slips on some water in the Edwards corner. Phil Edwards, the referee, just tidying things up, and that was a good shot from Edwards. Hurtful. He's only got 4 knockouts on the record, but I think he punches harder than that.
I tell you what, he won't punch any cleaner than that. That was a beauty. But you see, again, Ahmed just doesn't have the strength to keep him off, doesn't have the power in his punches. So he's going to have to be able to move better than he's shown, and he's going to have to be able to throw punches on the move, and he hasn't really done either of those yet.
Tries to work the body, good left back from Ahmed. And there's the fast hands, and Edwards just wobbled slightly from that. That might give the Derby man some confidence, but back comes Edwards with body shots.
Well, again, impressed with the grit that Ahmed is showing. When he's forced into this kind of fight, he's making the best of it.
Still Edwards, like the predator, who depends on fitness and his engine, and just trying to overall Usman Ahmed, and there's the body work again.
See, Ahmed just doesn't have the experience. He can't come up all through the levels in one jump like he's trying to do. Okay, Edwards doesn't have the best of records. He's lost more than he's won, but he's come up through the ranks. He knows what this is all about.
And he's got a way, Edwards, of making you fight his type of fight. Buzzing around you. That's okay from Ahmed, though, with the fast hands. He's giving it a real go. And that's what he's got to do, try and make Edwards miss. And
I think he's boxing the way, you know, not the way he trains. Just been a little bit untied behind the head with some of his punches. Some of that is probably Ahmed's fault, the way he's turning around from punches. But I don't reckon this is the way Ahmed has trained for this. So I wonder, can he keep this going? Looking fresh at the moment, of course, it's early stages.
He is catching Edwards more in this session. There's a nice left hand from him. Edwards forcing a bit, not quite as rhythmic as the first couple. Using that strength advantage, Edwards. Better round from Ahmed. There's a nice right as well.
Yeah, these are good shots.
Oh, going for each other at the bell, and Ahmed says, come on then.